Hey guys, this video is sponsored by G2A.com. G2A.com is a website where you can find thousands of games for extremely cheap prices. Make sure to check out the link in the description for more. Hey guys, Paul with Weapons of the World here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Department of Defense's plan to replace the M9 with a project they're calling the XM-17. It has a $17 million budget, and it's looking for replacements for the Beretta 92 FS, which is this handgun right here. And the Beretta 92 has been the primary sidearm for our forces in all branches for the past several decades. It fires the 9mm round out of a 17-round magazine, has a metal slide, metal frame, and other than that, it's really not a whole lot different than really any other handgun right now. There's no massive, special feature that a lot of other handguns, especially nowadays, don't have. It does have this weird kind of looking safety, which has had some issues with people over the past couple decades, in the way that you can accidentally flip the safety if you rack the slide in what's called a slingshot method, which I can go into that in another video, or look up Larry Vickers. He has a great video on it. But overall, the M9 is a perfectly fine, serviceable weapon. It's just kind of long in the tooth in the fact that firearms technology has gotten a lot better than when the M9 was first adopted, I believe in the 70s or 80s, in the fact that there's like polymer frames, different kinds of barrels, and all sorts of different cool stuff. So the US military is looking for a much more modular weapon system that the M9 can just not provide. They want to have a pistol in which special forces and troops can add different parts and different kind of features on the gun that will really help them in whatever mission they may be doing, especially with special forces like Navy SEALs, MARSOC, Rangers, all that sort of stuff. So let's get into the first possible competitor, or the first competitor in this competition. It's going to be the Glock 17. This happens to be the Glock 19, but it's the same principle. Now, the Glock 17 is a 9mm handgun, just like the M9. Fires from a, I believe, 17 plus 1 in the chamber magazine. Extremely reliable. You guys all know about Glock, so it's really nothing too special or really out of the ordinary. If anybody thought of a pistol that could replace the M9, I guarantee the Glock would be on that list, just like it is now. The Glock is extremely reliable. Really nothing can really break it. It's a solid design. There's not a whole lot of parts. It's like the AK of pistols. You really can't do anything to break it aside from running it over with a tank or maybe blowing it up with dynamite. Now, the reason the Glock is on this list is because of the polymer frame, which is something that the M9 doesn't have, and that reduces weight, and also has this textured grip, which increases if you have like sweaty hands, wet hands, or something like that. You can grab onto the polymer textured grip a lot better than you can just a solid metal frame. Also, the magazine capacity is slightly more than the M9, being at 17 or 18 rounds, depending on if you just fill up the magazine and put one in the pipe or not. All in all, the Glock is an excellent choice. In fact, it has been used in Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs have used the Glock over their standard issue service pistol, which we're getting into next. Now, the next competitor that will very likely replace the M9 is the Sig Sauer P226. This happens to be the P228, which also has a chance of replacing it. Now, just like the M9 and the Glock, the P226 fires the 9mm round out of a 17 or 18 round magazine. I can't remember exactly. Sorry, guys. Overall, it's a very fine firearm. I believe the 226 has a metal frame like the M9, but it has a lot more modularity, and it also has a lot more features that the M9 just doesn't have. It has a decocker in which you can slide the hammer forward without firing the round in the chamber, which is a great safety feature because that means you can keep your gun, cock, lock, and ready to rock with one in the chamber, but also not have the possibility of, if the trigger happens to be pulled while the hammer is back, a round accidentally discharging. Now, if you have the hammer forward by using the decocker, the Sig Sauer is double action, so you can immediately draw your handgun and fire on double action, with the next shot being single action. Now the M9 is also like this. It's a shared feature between the two. However, the P228/226, or whichever version they want to go with, all of them are about the same, has a higher quality overall. It's just built to higher tolerances, and it's just a higher quality in general firearm. The modularity is great in the fact that you can add a bunch of different barrels, slides, frames, triggers, all sorts of different calibers for special forces. That'd be great in the fact that they can switch out whatever they need to for whatever mission. If they really need some stopping power, they can switch out the barrel and the slide for 45 or whatever sort of caliber they need, like 40 Smith & Wesson. And it just overall, compared to the M9, is a much higher quality firearm. In fact, the Sig Sauer P226 is not new to this competition versus the M9. In fact, when the U.S. military was looking for a new sidearm, the 226 went up against the M9 and either surpassed or matched the M9 in every competition and test that it was fielded in, except for one. The Sig Sauer P226 is slightly more expensive than the M9. When I mean slightly, it's a little bit more expensive, but when you're talking about our troops, I don't think cost should be a big factor. I believe we should give them the best that we can, and I believe the Sig Sauer is an excellent choice. So let's go on to our next and final competitor, which is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. Now this is a lot like the Glock in the fact that it has a polymer frame, fires 9mm, except this has a 15-round magazine like the M9. Overall, this is a very fine quality handgun. In fact, it kind of mixes the Glock and the M9 in a kind of funny way. You can see the back looks almost exactly like a Glock, while the magazine capacity is like an M9. The overall feel is like an M9. It's a full-sized handgun. And the modularity is a little bit more than the Glock, but a little bit less than the SIG. Out of all of the three, the SIG is definitely the most modular in the fact that you can add just about anything to the handgun, a lot like the Glock today. The Glocks, I know you can add a lot of different stuff, but overall, it's just the SIG is more modular than any of these firearms. Now, this is the Smith & Wesson M&P 40. The M&P Shield is also in the trials. However, it hasn't been decided if the M&P 40 or the M&P Shield is going to be used. So they actually submitted both designs. I believe the 40 is going to be used just because it's a slightly larger caliber and has a little bit more stopping power. However, the U.S. military will more than likely not want to switch calibers to 9mm, so that's one strike against the 40. Overall, all three of these firearms are extremely well in the fact that they are exactly what the military is looking for. It just kind of depends on what exactly they want in their testing. I think it's probably going to end up being either the Glock or the Sig Sauer. I think the Glock might win just in the fact that it's a little bit less expensive than the SIG, but the testing is still being continued, and we'll just have to wait and see who is the replacement for the M9. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Catch y'all next time. Bye.